Hi, my spooky loves. Welcome back. So, go ahead and grab your blanket, something warm to drink, or maybe even a snack, and settle in. Because tonight we got 4 true spooky stories that defy reality. These are real stories backed up by police records, military records, and witness statements left everyone scratching their heads because they don't understand what's going on. So, let's get into story number 1. Story number 1 is called The Disappearance of Anette Martin. So our first story is taking us back to July 1984 in the dense wilderness of North Alberta, Canada. Oh, so we in Canada. A 20-year-old woman named Annette Martin was on a weekend camping trip with her husband and her 2 closest friends. They had set up a camp in a very remote area, but they were all experienced outdoors people. On their second evening around 7:30 p.m., while it was still fully daytime, Annette told her husband she was going for a walk around about 50 yards down the marked dirt road to fetch an extra jug of water from their parked truck. Here we go with being in the woods and walking by yourself. Why do people want to walk by yourself all the time? You're with other people. Why not ask someone would they want to go with you to your car to get something? It was a straight path, no thick brush, no steep drop, this clear, flat dirt road. Okay. When 10 minutes passed and she hadn't come back, her husband walked down to the truck. The jug of water was still in the back seat and it was nowhere to be found. Do you think it was a weird man or something? Or something paranormal? Like maybe what the dog man is in Mexico, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So let's continue. So she has disappeared. What makes Annette's case so eerie isn't just that she vanished. It's what the tracking team found the next morning. Royal Canadian Mountain Police brought in 2 trained dogs, or bloodhounds. The dogs picked up Annette scent right from the campsite and tracked her footsteps down the road. But about 30 yards down, right in the middle of the road, the dogs stopped. The dirt was soft from a light rain earlier that afternoon. Searchers could clearly see Annette's boot prints in the mud. They walked in a straight line, and then mid-stride, the right footprint was pressed into the mud, but there was no left footprint after that. So something just snatched her up. Okay? There's no drag marks, no tire tracks, no broken branches on either side of the road. The dog sat down in the exact spot and whined. So something just snatched her up, refusing to move forward, as if she had simply just been straight lifted off the ground in a fraction of a second. Decades later, Annette was never seen again. Oh, her husband and her friends, I know they was worried. But I like when stuff like that happen, I truly believe we're not the only thing on this earth. This earth is too big for us just to be the only thing. It has too much wilderness, open seas, all that for us just to be the only things or kind of people or something on this earth. So I wouldn't be surprised if another entity or something was lurking in the woods. And when somebody walked by themselves, they call that free gills or takes. I don't know. What do y'all think? Like, do y'all believe in aliens? Because I do. Or I believe in Sasquatch, different paranormal things, different mythical things, all that. So that's why you won't catch me lacking in the woods. I don't do wilderness. But let's go to story number 2. The Yuba County 5. This next one is often called America's Dyatlov Pass. It's spelled Dyatlov Pass. And to this day, it remains one of the most baffling cold cases in California history. So we're back in California. In February of 1978, 5 young men went to Yuba City, California, ranging from the ages of 24 to 32. So, okay, they were still pretty young. Not teenager age, but can you consider it a young adult? I would. Drove off together in a turquoise 1969 Mercury Monto to watch a college basketball game in Chicago. They were all close friends, and all 5 had mild intellectual disabilities. So they were autistic, maybe, conditions. But they live active and independent lives, which is possible, yeah. After the game, they stopped by a convenience store, bought some snacks, and got back into the car to drive home. It should have been a 15-minute drive down a straight highway. They never made it home. 4 days later, police found their car abandoned on a winding dirt mountain road in the Plumas National Forest. So they went through the forest, miles away from their route home, high up in the snow line. So that sounds like they drove somewhere they weren't supposed to be. The car wasn't stuck. It had plenty of gas. The keys were gone, but the engine was completely operational. So they didn't have any car troubles. Why they drove up to an unpaved mountain road into a blizzard, no one knew. Oh, it was snowing. Let me go back. So it was snowing. Maybe they got lost. I don't think they had like GPS and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure it could be easy to get lost. But the real horror came 4 months later when the snow thawed, nearly 20 miles away from the car. Searchers found a Forest Service trailer. Inside, they found the body of one of the men, Ted Wire. He had lost nearly 100 pounds and frozen to death. But there was details that make you scratch your head. So if he lost weight, that means that he was alive still and then died because of the cold. That's what I'm getting. The trailer was stacked with enough canned food and dry rotations to keep all 5 men alive for over a year. Oh, so it's like a ranger service trailer. So it's where rangers keep food and stuff like that. Okay. Now that's weird, because if it's enough food there, why would he starve himself? Maybe he got too cold and couldn't think of the, cook food or something. Things like that kind of happen when people get too cold. They sometimes feel like they're too hot and they take off all their clothes and froze to death and stuff like that. So sometimes that happens. People get delirious when they get too cold. There were matches and biotin tanks right next to them. None of the food cans had been opened, no fire ever been lit, and Ted was found wrapped in a sheet of blankets while heavy winter coats sat on the counter nearby. Okay, so didn't eat, he didn't make a fire, and he wrapped himself in a blanket when there was winter coats nearby. He is intellectually disabled. Starlin and Madruga, I'm gonna put it on the screen because I know I'm butchering these things. I'm sorry. And Hewitt were found at a distance outside. Gary, the fifth man, vanished entirely with only his shoes ever being located. Distorted and panicked, the men may have taken a wrong turn, panicked in the snow, and abandoned the safety of the vehicle, failing to act logically due to their mental health profiles. Witness accounted a stranded man with a heart attack in a nearby car reported seeing headlights and hearing voices near the abandoned car that night, but claimed the group ignored his calls for help. Oh, so there's somebody having a heart attack and they probably didn't hear it and was just walking. Foul play or cohesion, some family members suspect that outside influence forced them up the mountain, though no concrete proof of a crime or suspect was ever established. As if they were terrified to make a sound, light a match, or touch anything inside the cabin. To this day, investigators have no idea what chased those 5 men up the mountains or what kept them from saving their own lives inside the cabin. Wow. So I wonder what made them do that. I wonder if it was another person stranded, I guess maybe they saw something in the heavy snow or something. I don't know. Weird. I mean, they do have a disability, so what could have made them go up a road to the mountains? But let's go to story number 3, because that one got me. I hope their family is okay, because those were 5 people that did lose their lives. So, yeah. Number 3, the ghost blimp L8. Our third story takes place on August 16, 1942. And if you know me, I am a Virgo, baby. The best sign ever. Nobody can compete. Hello. During the height of World War II, off the coast of California, so we're in California still, a Navy blimp designated L8 took off from the Treasure Island near San Francisco for a routine anti-submarine protocol. And on board were 2 experienced crew members, Lieutenant Ernest Cody and Ensign Charles Adams. About an hour into the flight, the crew radioed back to base saying that they were investigating a suspicious oil slick on the water a few miles off the coast of Daly City. And that was at 7:38 a.m. So it was morning time. And that was the last message that anyone received from L8. An hour later, eyewitnesses on land watched the blimp drip off into fog. It was flying noticeably low, sagging in the middle, and floating aimlessly towards the town. It bumped against hillsides, scraped over a few rooftops, and finally landed softly on a residential street in Daly City. Emergency responders rushed to the crash site, expecting to rescue 2 officers. They opened the cabin door. The radio was plugged in and working. The parachutes were still stowed in their racks. Life jackets were in place. The life raft was still secured. And the ship's logbook was sitting open on the desk with its final entry complete. The only thing was missing was the crew. And they are up in the air, so there's nowhere they can just disappear. That's crazy. The door was locked from the inside on a safety latch. No one had fallen out, no distress call was ever made, and the Navy investigation found 0 mechanical issue with the airship. 2 men flew out over the ocean on a calm morning, and less than 2 hours later, an empty airship landed on a city street. So they basically went missing in air, and it wasn't no woods, no forest, no on nothing, up in the air. So if they ever jumped out, they would most definitely go down because of gravity. So that's so weird. Or I don't think they would have jumped out. I don't think so. So, oh, that's weird. Just to clear this up, what I'm trying to say is if they would have jumped out, I'm pretty sure somebody would have saw them fall down. So the fact that nobody saw them fall down or if anybody was found, that's so weird to me. But let's continue to story number 4. Our last story takes us to December 1990 on a remote rock-burn island off the coast of Scotland in Elian Moor. I hope I'm not butchering that. I have it right here. Standing on this island was the Flannan Iceless Lighthouse, maintained by 3 lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur. Their job was simple: keep the light burning to guide ships through a dangerous Atlantic waters. On December 15th, a passing ship noticed something wrong. The lighthouse light was completely dark. Bad weather delayed a relief ship from reaching the islands for 10 days. When the relief vessel finally docked on December 26th, the captain noticed an eerie silence hanging over the island. That's not a good sign at all. If I feel like something's wrong or something, I'm not getting on no island. I'm sorry. I'm sending somebody else, or I'm gonna tell them, hey, I checked it out and they just gone or something. I don't know. But no flag was flying from the staff, or none of the keepers came down to meet the boat. When the relief crew hiked up the steep stone steps to the lighthouse, they found the entrance door locked. Inside, everything was frozen in time. The kitchen clock had stopped. Not the clock stopped. When the clocks strike at 12 or 3, you know something wrong. A meal of cooked meat and potatoes sat untouched on the table. The chair was knocked over on the side near the hearth. What is that? Is it like maybe near a stove or something? I don't know. They in Scotland, do they call it different? I don't know. In the logbook, the last entries recorded by Thomas Marshall described a severe, terrifying storm that battered the island for 2 days. A storm so intense that he wrote the men were crying and praying for safety. Here's the chilling part, okay? Martin time, logs from nearby coastal stations showed that the weather across the entire region on those exact days was completely calm and clear. There was no storm. Oh, all 3 men have vanished without a trace. The heavy iron railings near the landing platform are twisted out of shape, but no bodies were ever recovered from the sea. You think it was like a merman or something like that? Or some type of paranormal, mythical sea creature that they saw? And when it comes in, it bring in a storm and get whoever like is on the island or something? I wonder if this is just the only time that this has happened on this island. Whether its footprints stopped mid-air, a landing blimp without its crewmates, or frozen men in a cabin full of... The world have a way of reminding us how little that we truly know. Which of the 4 stories gave you the biggest chill? To me, it was the 5 men in the cabinet, or that walked towards the cabinet, that one of them didn't eat even though the cabin was full of food. That creeps me out the most, because I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't eat, or why wouldn't you put on a jacket or something to keep yourself warm and full as you're going through a snowstorm. That's something that completely creeped me out. Let me know down in the comments, because I do enjoy reading comments. I love it. I love this. Know what you guys think. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to grow this channel to 1,000 followers and hit my 4,000 hours. So I really appreciate that. And my spooky babes, take care of yourself. Bye.